Welcome to another episode of the best four-wheel driving show in the universe. Here's my four-wheel driving buddy Martin, an experienced off-roader.
With the two worst four-wheel driving hosts ever.
We're not the worst hosts, we're just full of shit.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I mean, anyway.
Are you feeling good now your Jimny works?
It doesn't work.
What?
What makes you think it works, Martin?
Didn't you?
Last time we saw it on a cliffhanger, it had no engine.
Yeah, but it worked. Well, it got in here.
Martin's trying to blow my surprise.
What's the surprise?
I'll show you, Martin. I'm going to lift the hood.
What, the surprise is that it has an engine? That's the surprise? I've got a car and it's got an engine. Well, cliffhanger.
Well, that is actually pretty...
It looks exactly like the one that came out, and it looks exactly like the one that came out before that.
All right, so a couple of our mates, Isaac and Paulie, they helped us do this again because, as you probably saw last time, the engine didn't work. Now, if you want to see how we installed this engine, just go back and watch the other videos.
The only difference being that right at the end when you start it doesn't shoot coolant and hit the roof. It actually just starts and drives like a normal car. So.
Well, we're going to find out today. We're going to take the people for a drive with us. There's been a couple of other little changes since you saw it last time. We have installed a winch. It is currently untested, so today we will be testing that because I'll probably need to winch his ass out of the ditch at some point. If he tries to drift in his micro again and ends up in a ditch, I'll try and too soon.
Why are you talking rubbish?
What?
Why are you talking rubbish? It also has now, which looks pretty awesome, headers / extractors as they used to be called back in the day.
Yep.
So it's got full exhaust now as well with a cat converter in there and then like a 2-inch.
2-inch performance exhaust. There's a muffler and a resonator because I don't need to be driving around going every time I accelerate.
Nothing like the sound of an auto car with a sports exhaust as well.
So that has happened, and we also have some new tyres, which I'll run through shortly. Today we've got a couple of little jobs to do, and then the Jimny will be finished. So let me show you the tyres, then I'm going to show you what we're doing today, and then we will go for a drive. You'll come with us for the first time. We'll take it to the street. Hopefully we'll find some dirt. And see if our massive 1.5 litre engine gives us major advantages over the 1.3 litre engine that it had before. You got to remember from Japan it had a 660cc engine, turbocharged engine, hence the bonnet scoop, which was functional, but in Australia it's fake. So we're over double the original K car size. Still is a K car physical size, but now has a big block 1.5 litre. So I used to have a set of all-terrain tyres on the Jimny, but now because we're going next level, I've got some mud tyres. So these are BF Goodrich Mud Terrain TA KM3s. What is TA? Traction Advantage. Now, why would you run a mud tyre as opposed to an all-terrain tyre? Well, because I'm the host of the world's premier four-wheel driving channel and I have thousands of minutes worth of experience, I'm here to tell you why you would run a mud tyre instead of an all-terrain tyre. The reason... They're better in the mud, the mud tyres.
Because they've got a bigger sidewall so you can deflate them more.
Oh, yes. These here have a bigger sidewall, so they're more resistant to punctures. It means you can lower the pressure a bit if you want to hop up some rocks, and these have a percentage increase over the previous model. It lets you hop up some rocks. They also, the all-terrains I found going through mud last time, all of these grooves were filling up with mud, so it just became a big, wet, boggy slick, whereas these have a special kind of thing that's meant to pump the mud out. Now, there's some disadvantages also to a mud tyre, which is Marty was just telling me what he wanted for lunch. It's weight and, do you say kebab? Road noise.
That's not really a big deal for the weight, it's probably a big thing.
Oh yeah, because it's thicker rubber.
Yeah.
Yes, they're heavier. They can be multiple kilos heavier per corner of the car. And why are they heavier? Because there's more rubber in there. So it could be anywhere 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kilos heavier each corner of the car. But because they're thicker wide wall, more resistant to punctures. But they will be noisier and you may suffer some disadvantages compared to a normal tyre when driving on the road. So really what you got to work out is your bias of time going to be spent in the mud, because a mud terrain tyre will do better in the mud. An all-terrain tyre is probably going to do close to as well, but is going to be better if you're kind of more, you know, going around the city, getting your coffees. And I think that's all the information I have for you. There was one more thing I just remembered.
The producers are asking if you can just do that whole thing again.
So ultimately the choice is yours, what you run. If you're spending all your time in the mud, get a mud tyre. If you're spending a little bit of time in the track, on the sand, and most of the time on the road, go for an all-terrain tyre. Get a good quality tyre, it's going to work for you. Martin, now that I've finished that quick 30-second clip on which tyre you should use on your four-wheel drive, no, I'm not listening to you anymore.
The producer said it's too long.
Yeah, I don't
They
care.
said you spoke for too long and are running out of internet. You're literally wasting internet.
Martin is now going to show us all what he's going to be installing today and why. Because I read a thing on the internet that said if you have a four-wheel drive, you have to have big lights on it.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know why.
Ruse.
Because it's already got lights.
Ruse.
There's no ruse where we're going, man.
What?
But I think it's part of the look. It's part
Crocs.
of the thing.
Crocs.
So, Crocs. I got some Crocs recently.
Echidnas.
Okay, I got.
There could be echidnas, and you don't want those little fellas to punch you.
We are literally wasting the internet now.
No, we're not.
We're wasting
No
it.
one's watching it anyway,
It's
dude.
going down the toilet.
The other host said they'll come and do it.
We went to Supercheap Auto, and I don't actually know what I need, but I bought this called an LED driving light because they
Sweet.
look like they're going to be aggressive on the front of the Jimny. And I bought a plug-and-play wiring harness. How does it plug and play?
Yes.
How does it know what car we've got?
I don't know. What?
What?
The other hosts know how to put them on. But we're going to do it, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. Let's install it.
We're a four-wheel driving channel.
We're not, dude.
Yes,
Come
we
on,
are.
We're not a full drive.
We're-
You're talking shit.
No.
We're not a full. No, nothing, dude.
Yeah, well, I don't know much either.
But why? So why you keep saying we're a full driving
Well, because so I can learn.
we don't do that
teach
with
the people.
animal husbandry. Like, we're not getting the big gloves and being like, let's watch some YouTube videos about inseminating a sheep.
It's because we don't film ourselves when we do that.
Oh, that's true.
Martin,
goats do
let's
that.
we are wasting the internet.
Sorry.
And people are here to be entertained. They're not here to listen to us talk shit.
Well.
Let's be honest.
Arguably the same thing sometimes.
Martin.
Let's install a thing that I have no idea how to do. This will be great.
So why would you install some lights on your four-wheel drive? Well, there's a couple of benefits. Number one, when you are driving out and about, it's going to be way easier for you to see and also for other people to see you. A few years ago, Marty and I drove across Australia, and one of the cars that we ended up in was a Ford Capri that we stuck a bull bar on. And the roof didn't go up the top, and it was really cold. And what was scary though is people were like, don't drive at dusk, you know, because there's going to be kangaroos everywhere. But we were also in the middle of nowhere, and we were just like, we had to get places. It probably would have felt a lot better if we actually had some lights to get around. The other benefit is that when you get to camp, it means that you've got some lights so that you can set up all of your bits and pieces. So these are the lights. I've never seen these before, never installed them before, but I gather they're going to have a couple of brackets like this. And they've got, looks like there's a little loom or something in there. We'll work out how that works. I think this here is probably going to mount up here somewhere. And that there is going to be mounting in there. It might have to come forward a little bit because we do need to access the winch in there. But I think it's going to look something like that, basically. So we're going to work out how to do it, and you can come along for the ride.
This is a plug and play wiring harness. Now, our lights just come with those. Most often you will wire these in your own way. There's a few ways you can do it. You can wire it onto your high beam switch, but you will need a relay because these will pull a fair bit of current. Even though they're LED and not quite as hectic maybe as back in the day, your big halogens, they still need a fair bit of juice. So a directly wired relay to your battery that's triggered by your high beam is one way to do it. Or alternatively, you can put them on a switch or a combination of both so that when the switch is on, high beam's on, they go on, etc. So you have the choice. This wiring harness, they say plug and play. What they really sort of mean is plug and play to the lights. So it's a proper little loom and everything you can just plug the lights into. You still got to do a little bit of customization, but it comes with the relays that I just spoke about, where you can potentially intercept your headlight wiring. If you've got the right plugs on there, you can just plug it straight in and make it super easy. And then looms to go back to wherever you want to put the fog lights. Put them on the front of the car, put them on your roof rack, put them on the back of the car if you want to blind your mates, whatever you want to do. So we're going to work out this and start installing it into our sick Jimny.
Oh, we're not. No, we're not going to install
They
them.
don't fit?
No.
Oh, they're too big?
Yeah.
Because of the winch?
Yes.
Oh.
So,
What's your plan, light bar instead?
yeah, I'll go get a light bar.
Yeah, mad. We can still, we might still use some of this, depending what comes with the light bar.
I'll be back in a minute.
If we were really good presenters of four-wheel drive shows, we would have known that.
Yeah, but we're not. Are we? No. All right, so the reason that these big spotties are not going to be suitable is that I need to access the clutch winch lever, which is that little lever down there. Now, what that does is disengages the clutch of the winch so that you can free spool it in case you need to pull it out. So currently, if I try and pull this, it's not going anywhere. But if I turn this around and disengage the clutch, now I can free spool it and out it comes, which means if you're kind of stuck in a big muddy ditch somewhere and you need to pull it out, you don't have to just use the button and go like that. Now, some people just cover them completely, but because I haven't had a car with a winch before, I don't actually know if I'm going to need it yet. So I don't think for my next trip in the mud, I should be covering up levers that need to be levered. So when I bought these lights, because clearly I had no idea what I was doing, I also bought some little ones, which are these LED driving lights. These ones are also from Supercheap. And these, I think, were originally going on the back of Marty's K-Truck, but they're much smaller. There's a little mounting bracket there. And if I mount them there like that, it means I still have full access to that. So instead of putting those massive ones on, I'm just going to put these ones on instead. So I'm going to mount them up, we'll run the wiring, and then we'll show you what else we're doing for this mad little Jimny build.
People have been fitting aftermarket driving lights to their four-wheel drives for years. And now, just like cut springs in Commodores and removing resonators on your Golf GTI, it's just the thing that people do. Originally, people were adding extra lights due to the fairly underwhelming factory headlights of the time. But these days, technology has improved a lot, and factory headlights are probably going to be fine for most people. But that said, more light is always going to be better, particularly if you're bush bashing in the dark. You'll be able to find your tracks better and not get so fatigued squinting all the time, and maybe even scare off a roo before your car hits it and turns it into bolognese. But also, let's be honest, for a lot of people, this is definitely a fashion item. If nothing else, it's one of those standard must-do modifications so that you look the part when you're in the Bunnings car park, pretending to be an off-road adventurer with your $100,000 of aftermarket parts that have never seen a single splob of mud. Yes, a splob. With that said, if you are planning on venturing into the wilderness like we are, driving lights are a fairly substantial improvement over the Jimny factory lights, while still being a relatively cheap and easy to install modification. LED lights are a great option for the money with a really fast response time, super bright light, plus they don't draw a lot of power.
So whenever you're out in your four-wheel drive on the mud, you want to be making sure you capture your action. Now, last time Marty and I were out, sometimes there was some action that happened that we didn't capture. So I spoke to a guy that we know at Garmin and said, what can I do? And he recommended I install one of these, which is a Garmin Dashcam 66W. Basically, it's an HD camera, really wide angle of view, and we're going to install this up here and then hardwire it in so it's just running all the time, put a big SD card in it, and that means when we're driving along at the end of the day, if there was any cool action, it will all be on here. So while we're going to shoot with our normal cameras, drones and stuff like that, it just means that we have a backup in case there was something amazing that happens that I don't know what might happen, but it's really, really small. And this particular one comes with a dual USB so that you can, where is it? Here, so you can kind of still have your phone charging and stuff like that as well. Basically, going to mount that up there, run it down here. I'm just getting in here behind the dash. We're going to hardwire it in, and then we will make sure we are capturing all of our Jimny action.
As well as this dash cam and the driving lights, there is a bunch of other items of technology that I'm going to be packing in the Jimny for our off-roading trip. But I'll show you all of that stuff later in the video. For now, it's time to finish off wiring the headlights and the dash cam so we can finally get this little nugget onto the road and test drive it for the first time with our big block 1.5 litre engine.
All right, that is done, nice and neat. Ready for some off-road adventures. So those are some mad little mods Dashcam is in, which means we're going to be able to capture all of our action in case something good or something bad happens. Nice and tidy wiring. It's always going to be powered on when the key is on, which is excellent. How'd you go, Martin?
Really good. Really nice, simple wiring for this, using that. I used part of the adapter harness that we had and then part of the stuff that came with it and sort of customized it. So it's super neat and really, really basic.
I think that's definitely a better size for this car and should also still be super bright as well. So here's the normal headlights and then that's those.
Yeah, and depending how you wire it, you can run them independently from high beam. You can have a switch that cuts them on or off, or you can, just do it simply, which is high beam.
So that's it, Martin. I think we're ready for a drive.
What about the winch?
Oh, the winch.
We're going to test the winch,
yes,
man.
so the winch, could you just grab from the passenger side, there's a little controller there. So I've just got a couple of Anderson plugs here so that it's not on all the time. We're going to plug these ones in. And now, using the winch clutch, we've got a little controller here, which basically plugs in the front. It doesn't have a cap on it, but we'll cover that up. So we want to point this, that you can unplug that now, Martin, from under the car. If I point that back towards the engine, then that clutch should be disengaged. There it is. Yes, and now you can pull that out. That's it. You can sit on that. And now if I do that, and that way, we should be working.
Yeah, dude. I'm like a tree. And I'm actually the tree, and then your Jimny's coming towards me.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look like it. Going
Dude,
sideways, man.
This car has just become...
It's leveled up, hasn't it?
It's leveled up. The capability is now just at an extreme. Now, I know that some of you out there are into like drifting and sports cars and cool stuff that we're into as well.
Yeah.
But nothing beats four-wheel driving, and any dirt maggots out there know it.
Do you know that forward driving and overlanding is at the most popular it's ever been, ever?
What's overlanding mean?
Overlanding is what Americans call forward driving, I believe.
Oh, you know they also call Americans call a bushwalk hiking.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because hiking here means something very, like that means you're away for a few days.
Over a mountain.
Kind of like going over a mountain.
Well, that's kind of what you do when you go hiking too. I reckon there's a few reasons why overlanding and forward driving is the most popular it's ever been. And we could talk about it for ages, but I think the main ones are, there's so many people on roads, there's so many rules on the roads, there's so much traffic on the roads, and a lot of the cars just sort of do everything and don't need modifying and whatever, that really the next frontier is like, where do I go off-road? I know it's always been a thing since forever, but now like the quality of cars you can get and the fact you can go and buy like a brand new diesel ute thing off the showroom floor for what you used to have to pay for a four-door sedan with a 1.8 litre, and you can go anywhere.
Or a Jimny even,
Jimny.
like the newer version of this, which I don't think is as cool as this one. Just saying.
So is it popular because manufacturers are making this stuff, or are manufacturers making this stuff because it's popular? I don't know, but I think this is an awesome way to get into it without spending heaps of money that's very capable.
Martin, jokes aside, I reckon people have kind of hit digital saturation. Like, I reckon it's just like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, email, ads that are like made for you based on your IP, all of this stuff. And I think people are just like, how do I get out? Because I think you're going to see more people out trail running, people camping, people four-wheel driving, just wanting to get away from all of the rubbish, you know, just get away. And so a car is a really good reason to have an adventure. And so, you know, a lot of the time we say, you know, it is about the adventure, because the car just sitting here, like, it looks cool, but it doesn't actually do anything. But if you buy a car and that car lets you start doing track days, that car lets you learn how to drift, that car kind of opens up a community for you and you can kind of make new friends and go and have new experiences, then that's what I think it's for. A car is a key to adventure.
That's true. And one track day, you could probably get 10 nights camping.
Yeah.
You know, for the same cost. And so, you know, there's some thrills and fun to be had, but even just getting out on a trail and just, getting right out into nature.
Yeah.
Which is my favourite. Yeah, that's my favourite part of it, getting some fresh air, seeing some cool stuff that you don't see when you're staring at brick walls or concrete.
Now, obviously, when you go camping and off-roading, there's lots of different equipment that you need, but I just wanted to show you some of the things that I'm going to be taking in the Jimny. There's lots of other stuff like cooking things and whatever, but this is kind of more technology-based. So first of all, of course, is the tyre deflator for when you're going off-road or on the sand, and also the inflator. That's just a Ryobi inflator. that runs on the small batteries, which is really good. Also, I've just got a little camp light, which is something that we can kind of use when we set up our camp, and that's got a USB on it as well. You can never have too much USB charging, particularly if you're filming, you've got GoPros and stuff as well. I've also got this big spotty, which is just absolutely ridiculous, blinded myself. And to charge all of these things is an in-car charger. So that there just means that as I drive along, that can be charging as well. Now, for charging bigger things and some drones, DJI stuff that actually needs to be plugged into a wall to charge a bit faster, just got one of these. So this here is a 240 volt AC 300 watt power inverter. Now it runs off these bigger Ryobi batteries. This is a 36 volt one that's actually from my lawnmower, but you basically plug that in and then you've got mains power as well as USB and USB-C. Awesome for going off-road, obviously awesome for camping as well. And I haven't used this one yet, but they did send us this also, which is the same kind of thing, but runs off the smaller batteries. And also just really handy for charging up anything that is AC. This here, amazingly, can run a 32-inch LED TV, or if you're out and about, you could be running your modem and stuff on it. Speaking of power, I've had this for years. I think I got this from eBay or something, but this here is just a solar-powered battery bank, like a power bank. And so you can see now it's in the sun, so it is starting to charge up. And I just leave that on the dash of my car, and I've got another little thing from eBay that I kind of plug into it, and then I can be, whether it's GoPros or phone, iPad, whatever, you can just be charging stuff up as you go. And at the end of the day, when the sun's gone, it's storing the power, which is really, really freaking cool. There's no CarPlay or anything in the Jimny, but Marty recently got me this as a gift. This is a quad lock system, and the quad locks, they make mounts for bikes, motorbikes and stuff like that, and it's basically a case, your phone goes on it and then clips on. That they're really, really cool and great just for getting your phone in and out of the car, particularly if you're filming on it and stuff like that. While I do have my big light over here, I've also just got a little swag light, which is a little wee light basically for getting up in the middle of the night in case you need to go and do a wee somewhere. Not as much technology based, but this here is my thermos. I've had this for years. I've taken it to so many track days and stuff, and I just fill this with ice. It lasts 1 or 2 days with cold water, and it's just nice when you're out and about to be able to get a cold drink. I don't have a kind of fridge system in the Jimny, like I have in my camper trailer, which has got battery and solar and stuff. So it's just nice to be able to have a cold drink and some icy water when you're out and about. And speaking of cold drinks, you can also now grab, due to popular demand, our shit beer drink coolers. These are awesome, shitbeer.org, and you can get them from the Mighty Car Mods website. Next up, nothing to do with camping at all, but I just wanted to show you because I was very excited, are the all-new Mighty Car Mods safety earmuffs. We just had these made, and I'm very, very excited. Look at these. There's chopped fingers on the ears because you're going to be chopping the decibels. Really cool design, really comfy. You can wear them for a long time. We spent a lot of time kind of in R&D making sure we get something as good and comfy as possible. They are available right now, and we can ship them to you anywhere in the world. Look at that. Freaking awesome. And last but not least is this that we got sent. This is a little Jimny that's got BF Goodrich tyres on it, the same as the tyres that are actually on the Jimny. It's a little four-wheel drive remote control nugget, which is cool. And they sent us a couple of them. So maybe we'll take them out, and if our real cars get stuck, we can drive them. So anyway, that's just some of the technology. So like I say, there's obviously going to be lots more when we actually hit the dirt, but those are some of the more kind of electronic technology-related things. And now, because the Jimny 1.5 litre is, to this point, still currently untested, let's get in and go for a drive and see if it works.
Let's just hit a normal road.
Yeah.
Let's just find a normal road and see if it changes gears, if it works, if it's spilling its guts everywhere or not. And you people, you can come with us. So let's do it, Martin. Hop in. We're going to go and have an adventure. Don't sit on my mad sunnies. Oh. These are the sunnies that I got from Justin Bieber's girlfriend, remember? Where's the key?
It is a small car, isn't it?
It's a K car, man.
Tiny.
It's a K
It is
car.
a K car.
My left foot is looking for a clutch that doesn't exist.
Oh, it sounds good now. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Ah! Wow, dude. That's awesome. You literally chopped the possum that was running next to the car, but you didn't chop the wallaby.
It's definitely got a bit more poke.
It's a bit
you can
peppier.
feel that?
Sure.
No, come on, man.
No, you're right. It definitely
It's got a
feels like
little
it's
bit
a
of
big
extra.
Is that flat?
Let me turn the aircon off.
Oh, there it goes.
Hey!
Boost.
There we
Wait,
go.
ready? No turbo? Turbo.
So what I'm hoping is that once it's actually loaded up with like all my camping and off-road stuff, then the real test is whether I can hit and hold and sustain 100 kilometers an hour.
Highway speeds.
Highway speeds.
That's what it needs, because man, this is a good place to be. You can see everything. You've got lots of grip beneath you with your mud tyres.
Yep.
You got a bit more torque with your big block.
Yep.
You got some lights if we go in the dark.
Yep.
When you're working out your camping setup, you're doing well, man.
Man, I love this car.
Yeah, it's
the
mad.
car is excellent.
Yeah.
The new tyres, they're not like noisy. You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, you know, they're much noisier. Maybe it's just because I'm not going fast enough.
Well, definitely there'll be a bit of that, but you also had all-terrains on it before, which is also noisier than like a road tyre.
Yes.
And these things come with like road sort of tyres.
Yeah.
SUV tyres, whatever. So yeah, maybe it's a bit more noisy, but like you're not going to care about that when you're crawling up a mud hole.
Well, that's the thing. I'm going to be in the mud, and I don't know if it's actually going to be necessary, but because these mud tyres, they are heavier, they got thicker sidewalls. If I release some pressure, these tyres are meant to be able to grip me up some rocks to do some crawling, Martin. And what other things do four-wheel drive people do? I'm not drinking the shit beer.
I was literally about to say they drink shit beer.
Yeah, I'm not doing that, but but,
not all of them.
But I'll camp, I'll cook.
Yep.
I've got a special. Martin, see if you can work out what this is. It might look familiar. Have a look at the other side of that and show everybody what that is. Yeah? Do you know what that is?
Oh, it's your toilet.
That's my
You
toilet.
chopped out the chair.
It's a Mighty Carmod stool, and you just open it up and then stool away. Off you go.
Yeah, man.
Getting on the dirt. Are you ready? Here we go. Yeah.
Did you fall driving?
I'm on the dirt now, mate. See?
This is how it goes in the city, isn't it? You find literally 10 meters of dirt. Yeah, it loves it.
All right, that is the Jimny series. Thank you very much, everybody. Next time you see this car, it will be going on an off-road adventure. Massive thank you to Paulie, thank you to Blakey, thank you to Isaac. Thank you for anybody that helped support this build. Martin, there it is.
It's great.
ktruckandjimny.com. Is that the website?
Yeah,
ktruckandjimny.com. All right.
And so is shitbeer.org.
Yep, make sure you check out those incredible websites.
Amazing websites.
There it is, everyone. Thank you very much. If you want to support the show, you can get a Cheryl's mystery box. You never know what you'll find
You need
inside.
to buy a mystery box so he can buy himself some sunnies, because he forgot his sunnies, dude.
I know.
You broke the first rule of presenting a four-wheel drive show, the best one apparently on the internet.
Martin, I actually think we should make our own sunnies. I'm not even jostling
That'd
you.
be cool.
I'm not even. We just make some mad ones. Anyway, see everybody. Big block.
What a beast.